Hey guys, D1sco here, and welcome to attempt number 2 of recording the developer update stats from Dead by Daylight. Basically, this isn't a normal developer update, which kind of upsets me a little bit because there's not a whole lot to talk about or discuss. Basically, this talks about popular the 10 most popular perks used by both sides, the most played killers, some of the stats behind survivors like playing in groups and whatnot versus like solo queue, highest like kill counters of killers. Not too much surprising information, some surprising information, and but yeah, again, this is attempt number 2, so I have read all this. Attempt number 1 had a problem, so I'm fixing that now. But the problem was so kind of severe that I couldn't just upload the original because, you know. So I'm just gonna redo it. I don't. Does bother me. But yeah, this was posted earlier today as we're recording this, and this should be out like a few days after. So, since we started regularly sharing stats last year, we've received various requests for different kinds of data you would like to see on top of the usual statistics we share. We selected a few of the most requested topics to share with you today. Before we dive in, we would like to remind everyone that while data may be fun to talk about, does not paint a full picture. The numbers we'll be sharing are very broad, covering millions of matches played around the world, so the numbers may not reflect your personal experiences. We encourage you to have fun discussing this info, but please try not to draw any conclusions from data alone. It's important to dig deeper to understand the context behind the numbers you see. And we don't make decisions based on data on its own. Popular perks. Starting things off, here's an update to the 10 most popular perks for each role. The percentage listed next to each perk indicates their usage rate. In other words, the likelihood that someone will have it in their loadout. Arrows indicate the perk has moved up or down the list since we last shared stats. Well, a line shows that they remain at the same spot. So number 1, which I guess has been number 1 for a while, is Windows of Opportunity, I believe. Number 2 is Adrenaline. Number 3 is Life. Number 4, I didn't know in the last attempt, and I don't know now. Number 5 is, I don't, one of the eye perks. I have yet to remember the difference with them, so I'm not sure which one that is. Number 6 is Self Care. Number 7 is Sprint Burst. Number 8 is Dead Hard. Number 9 is Bond, I believe. Number 10 is one of the other I ones. I'm not really sure. As for Killer, number 1 is, is one of Pinhead's perks. I think it's Plaything, but I could totally be wrong. I don't think it's Deadlock. I think it's Plaything, though. Number 2, I believe, is Pain Rest. Number 3, I believe, is Bitter Murmur. This is the side I'm less knowledgeable on, so I'm probably wrong about all of this. Number 4 is, I want to say Overcharge, maybe, but I could be wrong. Number 5, I want to say is, I'm actually not sure what number 5 is. Corrupt Intervention, maybe, but I don't think that's right. I think it's one of Ghostface's perks, but I can't remember the name of it. Number 6 is Save the Best for Last. Number 7, I think, is Barbecue and Chili. Number 8 is Noah. Number 9 is Lethal Pursuer, I think. And number 10 is, I want to say, Nemesis. Popular killers. Like perks, we've also tallied up the 10 most popular killers of the past months. The numbers below represent the percentage of all matches where the given killer was played. It's the arrows and lines again indicating how they have changed popularity since we have last year this year. So number 1 is Chucky, which doesn't really surprise me because he's so goddamn small. It's very hard to flashlight blind him. Orange has played Chucky a lot, and there has been quite a number of people who try to flashlight stun him, but I don't think any of them have successfully pulled it off yet, just because of his short size. It's so insanely difficult to flashlight blind him. It doesn't really surprise me that it doesn't surprise me at all that he's number one. I was kind of expecting to be number two is Huntress, who I want to say was number one for a while. So seeing Huntress get defroed by anybody's makes me happy because on account of she's my nemesis. So number three is Wraith, number four is Legion, number five is Wesker, and I guess Wesker has moved down a little bit. Number six is Trapper, number seven is Michael, number eight is Nurse, number nine is Blight, number 10 is Ghostface. Beyond the top 10, the pick rates are as follows. I'm descending popularity. For the sake of simplicity, we have the Doctor is 4%. Although it looks like Doctor, we'll get to it later, but it seems like Doctor is the least played killer right now. So the fact that he's number 11 shouldn't be too much of a surprise, on account of he's played so little, or at least like his death. He kills seemingly the least amount of all the killers. Deathslinger at 3%, Spirit at 3%, Nemesis at 3%, Trickster at 3%, Clown at 3%, Oni at 3%, Xenomorph at 3%, Hillbilly at 2%, Plague at 2%, Tadiko at 2%, Pyramid Head at 2%, Demogorgon at 2%, Bubba at 2%, Pinhead at 2%, Skillmershire at 2%, Pig at 2%, Dredge at 2%, Artist at 1%, Hag at 1%, my main Freddy at 1%, Singularity at 1%, finally Twins at 1%. Deadliest killers. Who spilled the most blood last month? Many if you wanted to know, so we've gathered the data to share with you this time around. The numbers below are the percentage of all survivors who are killed when facing that killer. For example, a 50% kill rate would mean they kill 2 survivors per match on average. We try to keep killers near a 60% kill rate, which I'm still upset about because that's why the game is so killer sided. They went in during the 40 perk rework to intentionally make the game killer sided. It was almost 50-50 when they walked in, and they purposely buffed killers so they would kill more. I'm still very angry and upset with that decision because what that ended up doing to me, ever since then, I've really lost a lot of fun with the game. I haven't had fun since before that because nowadays it's just nothing but 4Ks against me, and I lose interest very quickly at the game, and it's frustrating. I just really want to have fun again, but it's just so difficult. You know what I mean? In fact, my opinion on that is not great. We have gone to negativity based off of my opinion of wanting it to be 50-50. Now that, not by behavior, of course, but like we had someone left at least a comment being kind of upset about that later because I guess because they didn't see it the same way I did, but it's whatever. On that argument, so basically the reason for the 6% kill rate is to quote unquote keep matches relatively even, which is no, and support the horror theme of the game. Okay. Where the killer is a force to be reckoned with and the survival is not guaranteed. That's exactly why I've lost interest. See, the 50-50 was fine because survival was not always guaranteed back then anyways. In fact, it was a lot more fun because I was given a chance to survive as well. Now it's just nothing but killer 4Ks, and I've lost a lot of interest because it's like, okay, I know what to expect. I'm going to get fucked over and lose. So I don't want to play the game as much. So if it was still 50-50, I'd be playing it probably quite a bit more. But due to the fact that it's not, I can't bring myself to play this game most of the time nowadays. And even when I can, I only play a few matches, a day. It's very limited myself. I would like to remind you again that this data covers millions of matches across all skill levels. Some killers may be stronger when mastered, but less powerful in the hands of someone less experienced. Yes, a good nurse is much scarier. Or in the case of D1sco, who was the worst Dead by Daylight player of all time! You're just dog shit as all of them, and it doesn't fucking matter because you're a worthless piece of shit. He's fucking dog shit. Kill rates do not include matches where a disconnect takes place. So the deadliest killer right now is Skill Merchant at 70%. And I think a big reason for that is due to the fact that there's like almost no one playing Skill Merchant. I'm not saying she's bad. I just noticed that ever since they reworked her power completely to be more chase oriented and whatnot, and completely got rid of the free genning queen that she was, they a lot of people stopped playing her. Like, I stopped seeing skill merchants a lot. Before, it was frustrating because it was the free genning queen. Now you rarely see her, which I'm actually kind of happy about. Number 2 is Sadako. Sadako has always been high on this list due to the fact that there's not many Sadako players. When they updated her, the most Sadakos I've ever seen was when they did that rework where they changed her condemned, so that way it was like more prevalent. That was the change before the one in January of 2024. So number 3 is Pinhead, who I don't see a lot of, but I find him very annoying. He's arguably one of the most, in my opinion, he's one of the most annoying killers to go up against. Number 4, you have my main of Freddy, and I think a large reason why Freddy is so high on this list is due to the fact that he's almost never played. You couldn't even play him during the lights out modifier, so there's that as well. But yeah, just due to the fact that Freddy isn't played a whole lot, I think that's why it's just so high, because he's not played much. Plague, who I have gotten some negativity over my opinion of Plague's Mori, because I think Plague's Mori is one of, if not the worst Mori in the entire game, apart from Skill Merchants. Skill Merchants is fucking terrible, and I fucking hate it. Apparently they updated Skill Merchants Mori somewhat at one point, and it's still dog shit in my opinion. I hate Skill Merchants Mori so much. It's so bad. And a lot of people do agree with me on that her Mori's by far the worst one. But I just remember my opinion was so controversial that a video where I mentioned that, I don't remember why I mentioned it, but there was a video where I mentioned it, and immediately we got hit with a negative comment about my opinion, trying to like essentially justify it, and I wasn't saying it by like trying to explain how fitting it is for the character, and I never said it wasn't fitting for Blake, and I do agree it's fitting. I personally just don't like it. But that's just me. Number 6 is Pig. Last time I played Pig, yes, I play Killer sometimes, even though I'm absolute dog shit. Haha, I know, kind of surprising. I got a 3K. I did not get a 4K due to the fact that the last survivor was fucking cracked. Like, Jesus Christ. Amazing looper. But I was surprised to even get the 3K, so I was pretty happy about that. And then, of course, number 7 is Dredge, another killer who I consider one of the most annoying just because of how dog shit I am. But I really, I'm still waiting on a turkey skin for Dredge because they still haven't given us one, and I very much want it because it'd be absolutely great. Great. Number 8 is Spirit. Now, Spirit is the highest on this list. Spirit is like the highest ranked on account, at least according to Astarva. And I say at least according to because not everybody's going to agree with him, and I definitely don't. And I definitely have disagreed with Astarva a lot. Astarva had a thumbnail and like a title on a couple videos where he was talking about how he hated something, and I actually liked it. So, you know, I'm also nervous. I'm now more nervous about reacting to Dead by Daylight stuff than ever because of one of a video I did on a hotfix change. It got hit with a sarcastic comment, a negative comment, basically saying I was dead, and it just performed poorly. It performed really badly. So now I'm on edge and worried about all of these videos right Dead by Daylight. So number 9 is Michael, who is a character I love playing. That doesn't really surprise me. He's absolutely terrifying. And then number 10 is Wesker, who I basically get PTSD from because, not just because I've tried playing him once, which went horribly, and again, more negative comments, but also I'm just dog shit as him, and there were so many people playing him after Project W released that anytime anytime it's him, I just immediately know we're getting 4K, so it's like, why even bother trying to play? Beyond the top 10, the states look like this. Pyramid Head at 60%, Hag at 60%, Artist at 60%, Xenomorph 59%, Blight at 59%, Wraith at 59%, Legion, Nemesis at 59%, Legion at 58%, Chucky at 58%, Twins at 58%, Oni at 58%, Bubba at 58%, Clown at 58%, Deathslinger at 57%, Trapper at 57%, Trickster at 57%, Demogorgon at 57%, Singularity at 56%, Hunters at 56%, Ghostface at 56%, Nurse at 55%, Hillbilly Billy at 54%, Doctor at 51%, overall average is 58.50%. Again, I wish it was 50-50, whatever. Then here's the survival rates. Last but surely not least, many of you were curious about survivors' odds of escaping depending on if they're flying solo or playing with friends. In this case, a high survival rate would mean that a survivor is escaping more. We've also included the survival rates are high MMR survivors as well for those who are curious. One last time, we'd like to remind you that these numbers do not paint a full picture. For instance, a group of friends may be more coordinated, but they might also be more willing to sacrifice themselves in an attempt to save their friends. Or in the case of here at D1sco, go right, you're just so fucking dog shit, it doesn't fucking matter. So solo overall is 40.34%, with a high MMR of 49.42%. Two survivors overall 40.10%, which is lower. High MMR 40.10%. Three survivors overall 40.56%. High MMR 42.46%. Four survivors overall 43.09%. High MMR 48.3%. That's all for this time. We'd like to continue sharing statistics like these with you in the future. If there's something else that you're curious about, be sure to let us know. And that's it. So yeah, overall, some interesting statistics. Some surprising, like the fact that two survivors overall is a little less than solo queue. I was not expecting that. I was expecting all of them to be higher. I was expecting all of them to be higher than their original, than like solo, but two isn't, which is interesting. The perks was interesting. I apologize for not really knowing all the perks. I'm not great with the pictures of the perks. And having to identify them from that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for